We are 3 days away from Clemson FSU. We hear from Dabo Swinney tonight. We'll have that and so much more of your comments, your thoughts on this huge matchup inside Death Valley. All that and more on tonight's edition of All Clemson Tigers Radio. So, welcome in, everyone. I am Zach Lynch, joined as always by Jason Bad Luck Priester. Honestly, it hasn't been you today. It has been me.
The roles have to reverse at some point. Don't worry. It'll reverse back probably fairly quickly.
Yeah. So in case you're wondering, I actually have 0 internet service at my house. The Spectrum people said, there was no outage at our house. And then they came back like 10 minutes later, they texted, said, there is an outage, and they anticipate, it being resolved by 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock came and went, and another text message came across and said, we don't have a clue when it's going to get fixed. So I'm sitting here running this show off my hotspot on my phone. So if anything goes crazy, I am blaming it on Spectrum. But yeah, so Jason, you said that things are actually calm at your house.
Yeah, fairly uneventful day for me. I did leave to go pick up the kiddo from school, which I usually do, 2-3 times a week. I am turning out the driveway. I've already loaded because I usually take one of the dogs with me so the other dog can roam the house while I'm gone. Turning out the driveway, get going down the road. She texts me 4 times in a row. Don't come pick me up today. Don't come pick me up today. Don't come pick me up today. Next thing I know, she's calling me. I forgot to tell you, don't come pick me up today. So look at her. She's texting me right now telling me, don't pick me up tomorrow either. Hey, I'd much rather have 24 hours notice than -3 minutes.
Exactly. What's the reason? Did she say? It's not, a gentleman caller.
No. Today's Wednesday. She goes to church on Wednesday. She's 15 though. She's got her permit. Some of her friends have their day license. So she rides home with a church friend and they go to her house and go to church from there. And it just keeps me from having to drive out there and go get her. No gentleman callers. My wife told me I might needed to start keeping a sharper eye on that here as we get moved through the next few weeks. Some dance is coming up, and I did find out she wanted to go watch some boy play in a JV football game last week. So I got to start paying a little bit heavier attention to that. It's not something I had to deal with my first daughter. She wasn't into boys or whatever, man. Not even when she was 15, 16. And so I gotta start paying more attention to that now.
Yeah, it's funny. We were having this discussion with my family just a little while ago at dinner. My oldest said that they are having all these dances in high school and stuff. Honestly, I remember the only dance I had was the prom.
We had prom, and the only other thing I remember in high school was something called Tri-Hi-Wah. Whatever that is, it was something girls were in, and they had to ask the guys to the dance. So I
Oh,
remember,
like a say Hawkins type thing.
I don't know. That's the only two I remember. And now they got a dance for homecoming. They got something called pearls. They still got the prom, a couple other things. They probably have half a dozen a year at least now.
Yeah, yeah. That honestly, it just blows my mind how many dances and stuff there are. They said that she said they're having a homecoming dance this week, and there's some like JROTC like dance or something like that, and then there is prom and everything else. So honestly, I went to my junior prom, had a crappy time at that. So uh I didn't even bother with my senior, me and my friend went to the El Astro movie theater in downtown Clemson, yeah, and went and saw a movie.
I I went to 3 proms. I dated the same girl most through high school. She was a year older than me. And I want to say I went when I was a sophomore, I went to her junior prom. And then we went together when she was a senior. And then I went with another girl when I was a senior. I can't remember, man. I didn't go to many either, but now they got about half a dozen of them things. And you got daughters just like I got daughters. They want a different new dress for every one of them, man. And it's always something with daughters.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, before we get into this little game that's 3 days away, I'd love to remind everyone to please subscribe, like on YouTube, and leave a comment. Look, this doesn't just help us, it helps the algorithm. Every like we get, the algorithm says, hey, these guys might be worth watching. And so it sends it out to more and more people. It is completely free to do. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do us a huge favor. So Dabo is currently uh, meeting with the media, and he continues to say that Jonathan Weiss is the kicker. In fact, he said he's had a very good couple of days, and also he said he is looking solid and ready to go. I mean, yeah, that right there tells me one of two things. Either this Rice kid, is the real deal, or, Robert Gunn has some serious demons that he's dealing with. I mean, what are your thoughts on the kicking situation? Or let me phrase it like this. Clemson is trailing 20, let's see, say 21 to 20 in the fourth quarter. How confident are you that they can kick a field goal to win?
I don't know how confident I am. I just don't know. Might depend on the distance, you know. I fully expect White's to be the guy, unless maybe it's a 45, 50 yarder that they got to have. Maybe they turn the gun then because he's been better kicking the long ones and he's got the leg. I don't know what kind of White's has. Sounds like it's not quite as strong, but
well, I mean, Dabo right here was asked if he feels comfortable with Rice from 50 yards in, and his exact quote was, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but will be ready if needed. So it sounds,
I don't know, man. It's just going to depend on the situation, the distance, the time, you know, when I don't know. No, but the answer to your question, no, I would not feel very comfortable with Clemson's field goal situation currently. And if it comes down to needing a field goal to win it, man, that place is going. You're going to be able to hear a pin drop in that place Saturday.
Yeah, it is insane. Donald Walker gets in and says, I just hope the Tigers hear all the BS the FSU fans are talking, so have them ready to play. Honestly, if you're relying on the team's readiness to play based on hearing the other team's fan base talk, I think you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, I don't think Clemson needs any extra motivation from the opposing fan base. You're talking about a pop-up, you know, your playoff life is on the line in this game. Your ACC, you know, title hopes are on the line in this game because if you start out 0-2 in the ACC, the chances of you making it, rebounding and securing a spot in Charlotte in December reside somewhere between slim and none.
Exactly.
There's just, you know, the current winning streak you want to extend, the hierarchy in the ACC you want to keep in place. There are a lot of motivating factors that are on the, you know, on the list, and what opposing fan base is saying ranks way down. I get it. You don't, as a fan, you get tired of seeing that stuff on social media and message boards. I understand all that. My only advice would be to stay off message boards and social media.
Unless you're following all Clemson Tigers. That is the only social media you need to follow. In fact, let's go ahead and give our shameless plug now. If you have not already joined Death Valley domain over on ClemsonTires.com, you are missing out on tons of recruiting information, football analysis, unique stuff. We are even hosting virtual happy hours where we are just going to basically have an open Zoom call with all the members, and you can drink a beverage of your choice and talk football or anything else with us that you want. It is all for $4.99 a month, so do not miss out on that. Jason has recruiting stuff. In fact, I think Raz Sinka actually broke the news last week that Andrew Akuo would not play, and he did that over there. So you are getting so much value for less than a cup of coffee.
We also broke the news that Amari Adams would be in town this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very true. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about you know the importance of getting these guys on campus this weekend. Obviously a noon kickoff is not ideal for some of these guys. I have heard, from you, telling us that, the game time, has affected some of these guys' official visits and unofficials. So, how how important of a game is this for these guys that Clemson is still pursuing?
Oh, this is a big game for recruiting. Some of the guys that live further away that they invited might not be able to make it because of late games, because of playing on Friday night and the quick turnaround for the noon game on Saturday. But most of the guys that they invited, most of the guys that want to come will be there, especially from the kids from Georgia. Most of the current commits going to be there. I know David Ajamame told me he's going to be there. I'm pretty sure Gideon Davidson will be back, and Sammy Brown and guys like that. But this is a big weekend for recruiting. They have set it up this way purposely. A bunch of their top 2025 targets have been invited and are expected to be on hand. I'm going to put together a list that'll be in Death Valley Domain here later in the week. Like I said, one of those we broke last week was going to be number one player in the state, defensive tackle Amari Adams. It came out yesterday that top offensive lineman in the class, David Sanders, is going to be there this weekend. Also going to be a couple of big-time 2024 guys on campus this weekend, too. Offensive linemen. Put those out there in Death Valley Domain yesterday. But you can't have a poor showing here. Clemson set this thing up. This is the game they wanted to be one of their marquee, events from a recruiting standpoint, kind of like the North Carolina State game was last year because it was a night game. They had a bunch of big time names in there last year for that game, and this kind of is resembling that in that regard. So you definitely can't let Florida State come in here and blow your doors off or anything. You need to, at the very least, if you're going to lose, you better make it competitive because you're going to have a bunch of guys you're trying to convince come play for you on hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I see this as, this game, and I guess, let's see. Your Notre Dame game as being your premier recruiting games. The thing is, the fans also play a huge role in the recruits. You talk to these guys, a lot, and you are in the world, kind of, building these relationships with them. And so, how much do they talk about the atmosphere and the, fans and stuff like that as a part of it? Because Clemson obviously is recruiting against the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, all these SEC schools, even FSU. So, obviously SEC has the reputation of, these fan bases. But, do you think that the crowd at a noon game can have an effect on these guys?
Yeah, probably not as much. It's not going to be probably as electric as a night game was. But every time you talk to a recruit after a game day visit and you ask him, how the visit was and what were some of the things that stood out, what happened over the week, 90% of the time, if it was an electric atmosphere, that's going to get mentioned. It's going to be one of the first things mentioned, the crowd and the environment. So yeah, I do think it's a part of it. Is it one of the biggest parts of it? It just depends on which kid you're talking about. Each kid's looking for something different. I've said it 100 times in the past. I think every recruitment's kind of like his own little story, and it's got its own little twists and turns. And this kid might like this school for one reason, and this kid might like another school for a different reason. If you follow what I'm trying to say, but the environment that they're going to play in, yeah, it's a factor. Everybody wants to play in front of the big, rowdy, raucous crowds, especially the big name guys. That's what they are expecting. And despite the noon start, Clemson needs that crowd. Clemson needs that crowd Saturday, not just as the 12th man in the game. They need it for these recruits that are going to be on hand.
Yeah, and can you go ahead and put to rest a rumor that has been flying around that Sammy Brown is close to decommitting?
Yeah, I will shut that down right here. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
I have not heard one inkling of that. I do not expect that to happen at all. If there's going to be any decommitments in this class, he is not the guy I would start with.
Yeah, I have had Twitter or X or whatever it's called now blowing up with people saying, "Hey, I heard Sammy is decaying and heading to Oklahoma and all this stuff." I mean, honestly, I am nowhere near the know that you are. I have heard absolutely zero to indicate that is even close to happening.
The first I heard about Sammy maybe decommitting in favor of Oklahoma was just right now. So I did see some of the stuff on Twitter a few weeks ago that got started, I think, by a parody account. And some people on Twitter don't realize when they're reading. That's why I hate parody accounts, because some people, they don't realize what they're reading is not true, and it's not meant to be true. And somebody had put something out there that he was visiting. I think somebody put something out there he was visiting South Carolina maybe, and South Carolina's never a school that he was favoring in any ways. Why would he be visiting there now? I mean, you see these things, man, you gotta put some logical thought to it. But I have not heard one peep about Sammy Brown to Oklahoma until about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, come on. You should know by now the Logic and fans, they do not go hand in hand.
No, yeah, that's why they call it fandom,
Yeah, exactly. Well, we now have video of Dahlia talking to the media tonight after his practice. This is the first time that I am seeing it, the first time you're seeing it. So let's just kind of watch a little bit and, then talk about his mannerisms and kind of what you are sensing around him.
Yeah, he's been solid. So. I mean, I think so. I mean, it's what he's done in practice. So I don't know if comfortable is a good word, but we're ready. We're ready if needed. Yeah. He'll be ready. He'll be, long field goal, be ready to go. His lower body, he did practice yesterday and kind of held him a little bit today. So as I said, he's been kind of day to day. Yes. I mean, it's a good situation, It's nice to not have to play a guy 70 snaps when you got good depth. I mean, no different than any other position. We try to, anytime you got depth, you want to be able to use it, and guys can stay fresh, and that's a great thing. Just like Shipley and Moffa, it's nice to be able to rotate guys throughout the course of the game. So no different than anything else. And then Makuba can also play multiple positions. Cam Barnes. They both play kind of our nickel star position, but they can play either one of the safety spots as well.
So let's stop it there. And first off, just listening to him and kind of how he has sounded, it doesn't seem very promising that Andrew Akua is going to play in this game. And that is a huge loss when you're talking about the experience he brings and you're facing the receivers that FSU has. I think Khalil Irons is a star in the making. He is just a true freshman, and if you're going to have to rely on him when you're in those nickel packages, if I am Mike Norvell, I am doing everything I can to get him matched up on one of those receivers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm as high on Khalil Barnes as anybody. But again, he's still a true freshman. He's not very experienced. If Makuba doesn't play, this will be his biggest test to date. Make no mistake. I think we can all agree on that. Maybe Clemson doesn't run out as many nickel looks as they otherwise would have and go with 3 linebackers instead. I don't know. Maybe it's something to keep an eye on. I'm not 100% certain. It doesn't sound like Dabo's 100% certain Walker Parks is going to play either. And that would be, to me, that's just as big of a loss. That is a stout defensive front Clemson is about to play. No disrespect to Mitchell Mays, but there's a drop off when you're talking about when you're going from Walker Parks to Mitchell Mays. And I think that would be a huge loss if Parks can't go Saturday.
Yeah. To me, I hate to see games decide, based on players that are unable to go. And honestly, if Akua and Parks aren't able to go, I think the odds of Clemson coming away with a win significantly drop.
Yeah, those are 2 big losses. Absolutely. Is it impossible to overcome them? No, but you absolutely want to have those guys. Makuba was arguably one of the best players on the field in Durham.
Yeah.
One of the best games we've seen from him in a long time. He was outstanding that night. they need him back. And, you know, we kind of, I think you've been hearing the same thing I've been hearing, that he might, you know, I think I've been hearing it for a couple of weeks that he might not play this weekend. That he's probably a little bit more banged up than they making out to be. Big time loss though, especially if both those guys are out. You absolutely want to have them.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back to Dow and let's kind of see what else he has to say. Like he said, this is our first time seeing this, so you're getting our reactions to it as it happens.
It's really hard, and they do a great job, and they've got great backs, you know, who can really catch the ball and can really run after the catch. So it's really difficult because they're not just, you know, there's so much, play action involved. Creates a lot of conflict, with your eyes and things like that. So, you know, we got to find a way to be great on first down. And I think that's a huge part of what makes them successful, and so that'll be a big part of this game. Is trying to keep them behind the chains and not let them, play on the schedule somehow, some way. But it's something we've worked hard on all week, but it is a challenge. These are great players, and you've got a quarterback back there who runs like a wideout. So definitely a challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's again, they schematically do a nice job of formation in the screens. They've got some RPO type screens built in off of the run game, which they'll run the counter, and they're a big guard tackle pull team, which creates a ton of misdirection, similar to us, and screens built in off of that, so it creates hesitation, and sometimes when you have hesitation, you get distortion in your defense. It creates some open space. So they just do a nice job of marrying things up and trying to, have complementary plays off of their bread and butter type plays. And they work really hard on it. Well, the game just looks slow for him. I mean, he's very poised. He's a great leader. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't panic. A couple of years ago, not that he ever panicked, but you could tell that the game was a little faster than 3 years ago. And now he's just, the game looks slow to him. He's got great poise, and he's got complete understanding. He's obviously been in the system now for 3 years, and he's got a great grasp of what they're doing. And he understands when you've done something for as long as he has, you understand the game within the game and the nuances of what you do. Not just here's what knowing what to do. He really understands again just the little intricacies that separates a good player from a great player. And so that's the main thing. And then again, just his confidence that's come from his experience and his success that he's had. He's a very confident young man. But he is a guy that just, no matter what the situation is, he just doesn't panic. I mean, he's just got a lot of poise. His ability.
Yeah, so, after this little segment, I think Dabo hit on the concern that everyone has had since the Duke game, the CSU game, the FAU game. is the running backs out of the backfield. Clemson did a terrible job against Duke. They hit on those wheel routes, in that game, and that cost the Tigers numerous opportunities to get off the field. And the thing that scares me is FSU is far more talented than Duke or CSU or FAU. So if they saw that and they understand, hey, this is something that we can exploit, the Tigers better have their crowd together, or else their ass is going to get chewed up. I liken it to the Pittsburgh game in 2016, where they kept running that little tie-in shovel pass, and Clemson couldn't adjust to stop it. And so that honestly scares me. The fact that FSU's FSU's running backs are as skilled as any you're going to face this season, and they can catch the.
Yeah, they like getting the ball out to those backs in the passing game. Both those backs, Trey Benson and Lawrence Tofield. It is something Clemson struggled with so far, containing running backs coming out in the flat or on the wheel route or whatever in the screen game. And the screen game is something Florida State likes to use. They run a lot of screens, a lot of different ways, a lot of them to the backs. If Clemson's not any better in this game than they have been the first 3 weeks, Jordan Travis will chew them up. This Florida State offense would chew them up. They have got to defend the flats, particularly the running backs, or the running backs in any route coming out of the backfield, screen, wheel route, whatever. They've got to be better than what they have been the first 3 weeks. Or again, Florida State and Jordan Travis and this Florida State offense is gonna have its way with them.
Yeah, and you have to think that with Travis, suffering a little bit from a sore shoulder, they are going to try to get the ball out of his hands fast. And so that means, a lot of short passes and slants and screens and routes. They're a little bit easier throws, because the last thing they want is for him to have to sit in the pocket and take hit after hit after hit, on that shoulder. But, if you remember when Clemson first played him 3 years ago in Death Valley, everyone thought, this is great. We have a guy that, nobody has really heard of. He is unknown. He's not the star, and he can. And really, he played with a lot of poise, and just, was extremely impressive in that game. The last thing you can do if you're Clemson is let him sit back and get comfortable. I think, Les Goodwin is going to have to be a little more exotic with his pressures. He is going to have to ring the cornerlets and linebackers, because this is not a team like you saw the first 4 weeks where you are going to be able to just get pressure with your forward line.
Yeah, you can't let Travis sit back there in that pocket and get comfortable. To me, he's a guy that's shown that he can be rattled. So you got to put pressure on him. But I think a big part of this thing for Florida State is going to be getting the ball out quickly. The short passing game, Clemson's pass defense, particularly, they're going to have to be up to snuff this week. Nate Wiggins, Sharon Jones, Jaden Lucas, those safeties, Phillips and R.J. Mickens and Khalil Barnes or Makuba if he plays. Those guys are they're going to have to play one of the better. They're going to have to play at collectively one of the better games of their careers, because this is going to be arguably the best core of receivers they see all season. And I think that's going to be a big part of the game plan for Florida State. Getting the ball out quickly, letting those guys on the outside, use their athleticism to make plays in space and not try and take a lot of chances with Jordan Travis taking a bunch of hits.
Yeah. I think, if they can get to Travis and, early on and get a couple of good, clean hits on him, nothing dirty, I think that could rile him. He is a very a very savvy guy. He understands the offense now in his second year. And I think, honestly, both selected him as our ACC Player of the Year. And, it is for this reason that he is savvy, he is calm, he has great awareness of where his playmakers are. And until he hurt his shoulder last week, I would say his biggest threat is extending, the plays and then making defenses pay.
Yeah, he's extremely savvy. He is a wily veteran, so to speak. When I say he's shown that he can be rattled, I'm not saying sack him or get to him a couple of times and it's going to make him end up looking like a true freshman. But I do think you can pressure him into making a mistake or two. He's a guy that's shown to be able to battle back from when he does make mistakes, but he is a guy that I think you can pressure into making a mistake or two if you don't allow him to get comfortable in the pocket and let him sit there and have all day to make decisions. You got to do something to disrupt the timing of that offense.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, you have Cade Klubnik, this is arguably his biggest game of his career. I mean, some might say the ACC championship, some might say the Orange Bowl. To me, everything that the Tigers hope to accomplish this season hinges on this game. And so, can Cade Klubnik come out and not let the pressure and the moment get too big for him?
Well, I agree. I think this is a big game for Cade Klubnik. If he comes out and plays poorly in this game for some reason, there are a lot of people in this fan base that probably won't ever get over it. I mean, it's something he'll never be able to live down. I can't imagine the pressure that comes with being the starting quarterback at Clemson, especially heading into a game of this magnitude. But they need him to play well, and not just throwing the ball. Again, I talked about it last night. I think his legs could be the X factor in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to run the ball for 50, 75 yards and make the Florida State defense have to account for him on every play. I think it'll help open up some passing lanes for those receivers. I think it'll help open everything else for that, open up everything else for the offense. Just got to get him going, and hope you see what you saw in the ACC championship game. Hope you see what you saw in the first half last week in the third quarter against Charleston Southern, and not what we saw against Tennessee and Duke.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see a QB who is starting to come into his own. He was significantly more decisive last week, and his decisions to run the ball and step up in the pocket rather than floating back to where he ended up throwing off his back foot. Now he still is he still has a tendency to put the ball in jeopardy, and you saw that against FAU and also CSU. So, and you can't do that against this FSU team. This is a team that is not going to drop those interceptions. They are going to make those plays. And so, I think, he is going to have to play not flawless, but damn near close to it.
Yeah, he needs to minimize those mistakes. He's going to be a guy that takes risks. If you're a Clemson fan, you might as well go ahead and resign yourself to that fact. He is going to take risks. He has that much belief in his arm and his ability to put the ball where he wants it to go. That's going to lead to some mistakes, and you just got to hope that when he makes them, they're not in critical situations and they don't lead to interception returns for touchdowns and those kind of things, and that the defense can bail him out when he does make them, because he's a guy with a lot of arm talent. No, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world like, say, a Trevor Lawrence, but he does have a lot of arm talent. He's extremely accurate. He's got a lot of faith in his arm, and again, he's going to take risks. You just got to hope he can minimize the mistakes in a game like this, and not make careless ones, not put the ball up for grabs where it can be returned for interception when nobody's in within 5-10 yards of the receiver, like we've seen him do a couple of times. He's got to make better decisions when it comes to taking those risks.
Yeah, he has so much of the red fire in him, that he is going to make, some plays where you're like, oh my God, that was incredible. How did he fit that throw in there? And then he's going to have some where you're like, what the hell is he thinking?
Absolutely. Go back to last week when he almost had that ball in the end zone picked off. Very next play, third down, that throw he makes to Tyler Brown. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what you're going to get from him. He is, I hate to use this analogy. He has a little bit of that Johnny Manziel to him. He's got the swagger. He's got the running ability. He has the arm. He thinks he can make every throw. And honestly, after 2 years or 3 years or however God how long it was DJ Uyunglele, I love it. I would rather have a QB leading this team that, you know, he believes that he can make the airy throw and is confident rather than the guy that we saw at Clemson the last 2 years who looked timid and scared to make a mistake.
These guys are polar opposites. We've seen DJ Uyunglele the past 2 years not have that kind of faith in his arm, and he's got superior arm talent. Let's be clear about that. His arm is one of the strongest I've ever seen. He has got it. I mean, his arm talent is just, it's hard to describe. But it's when he's on the field, or the past 2 years, when he was on the field, he didn't have a lot of faith in it. He didn't play with a lot of confidence. I will never forget sitting there after the South Carolina game last year, and after he had got finished talking to the media and all the cameras were off, I was listening to somebody talk to him off to the side, one of the other people in the media, and I won't ever forget. He looked at DJ. He said, "DJ, man, you just gotta let it rip." And DJ's like, "Yeah, I know. I won't ever forget it." You know, I mean, he just never had that kind of faith in his ability while he was at Clemson for whatever reason. And K's the polar opposite. He thinks he's going to make every throw, and he's not going to be afraid to let it rip.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the crowd is always an issue getting into Clemson for a noon kickoff. That would address the crowd and the need for them to show up early, and be loud.
Oh, I don't have any doubt that the Tigers are going to show up. This will be an electric atmosphere. I mean, this is Clemson-Florida State. This is a huge matchup in the Valley. And last week, I mean, the game, I know it was a night game, but I mean, the crowd was awesome. From Florida, it was a great crowd from Charleston Southern, great energy. I mean, that's what makes Clemson special. Our fans show up.
I have to stop him right there and call BS on the Charleston Southern crowd. it was far from electric. It was far from great. I mean, honestly, it looked like, the third quarter, it looked like Williams Rice Stadium down in Columbia.
The Charleston Southern crowd was the worst I've seen at Clemson. I can't remember the last time I seen a crowd that sparse at Clemson. I'm talking about middle first quarter, when it was at its biggest. I mean, the upper deck on the north side over there was probably not even a third full. And I cannot remember the last time I seen that. You have to go back to the Tommy Bowden days.
Yeah. So I just wanted to stop him there and, call BS on that.
Passionate, and I expect there to be a ton of juice and a loud home field advantage. I mean, that's the expectation. And I'm excited about the opportunity always to play at home in front of our home crowd. And they're always a difference. I mean, the noise in the Valley is always a factor, for sure. I mean, the guys are excited and all that, but we don't really practice any different. I think we've tried to be smart with them this week. With such a late night, Saturday night, and then early game this week. I think that's a situation where you try to make sure you pay attention to all your analytics and data and GPS and some of your high rep guys, and because it is a quicker turnaround. to try to be smart there. But I mean, if they was just a working man Wednesday, like every week, next week, and working man Wednesday, as I said the other day, I mean, some games have a little more juice to them for sure, but the preparation isn't any different as far as how we go through the business. Unfortunately, we don't have one of them guys, so we just, we try to make the best of it over there. We got a good little group of wideouts that did a good job for us. David and Kaka, that's kind of our taller guys, Charlie Johnson, a tall kid over there. We don't have a number 14, that's for sure. Probably should have. Probably wouldn't let me have him though. I've been trying to get what's my man's name? Chef. What's his name? Chef. Yeah, Chef. That's my guy right there. When he gets done with basketball, I'm gonna get him out here for he's a football player over there playing basketball. I love that guy. I love that. He's the Renfro of our basketball team. Just good player, smart, tough. He'd be a great football player. There's another kid out there, but I mentioned that to Brad. He didn't like that, so I'll leave him alone.
So, Dow addressing the Johnny Wilson situation. I have seen the scout team wide receivers, the walk-ons that Clemson has, out there running scouting. I can tell you right now, there is not one kid out there who is 6'7", who has the makeup of Johnny Wilson. I mean, your kids from Daniel High School and Seneca and Renton and all these local schools, they're walk-ons. They cannot simulate Johnny Wilson. He is a freak of nature at 6'7" with his speed. So, he is the other reason I think having a guy like Andrew Makua this week is so huge, because you're going to have to, play some racket coverage on these guys. You're going to have to give your corners and linebackers hell over the top, because if you have a guy who has 6, 7, 8 inches on a defender, you can just throw it to him.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to simulate Johnny Wilson in practice. I don't think anybody can do that. He's one of those rarities. Like you said, 6'7". He caught 6 passes for 75 yards against Clemson last year. You're not going to shut that guy down, but you need to minimize the damage that he does to you. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of zone, and it would be greatly beneficial if Andrew Makua can play. But if he can't, somebody's got to step up and fill that void. Barnes is going to be the guy that gets the first shot, and we saw him get beat on a deep route last week.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't able to connect on it, but he was beat. I thought he did a good job in responding. He didn't get beat again. He played fantastic the rest of the way. But this is going to be a test on a whole different level this week if Barnes is forced into action and has to start again.
Yes, it is. We are less than, let's see, I guess around 54 hours from kickoff. So
we'll spend about 6 of that waiting in line in our car Saturday morning.
Yeah. So if you're going to the game, do those of us in the media a huge favor and get there early so that we can get to our spot.
and get in the building.
Yeah. We have this. Let's see, we have another episode of Clemson Tigers radio show tomorrow night, and then Friday afternoon at 4:30, we are going to be live at Magnetic South and Anderson. We have tons of swag to give away, tons of stuff, to discuss. We are going to give you everything that we know about this matchup. And we hope that you'll come out and join us. Thank you to everyone who got in today. We are trying to make this a community, or like Jason has on Monday nights, where every night at 7 o'clock, you know that you are getting some kind of Tiger talk. So, don't forget to click that subscribe and like it. On YouTube, leave a comment, and we will do this all again tomorrow evening at 7, and then we are officially 48 hours away from kickoff. So, Jason, there is no bad luck today.
No, just no bad luck today. I'll let you take my spot for today.
That's right. So for Jason, I am Zach. Thank y'all so much for joining us. As always, we love when y'all get in and just and participate with us. So let's get out of here. For Jason, I am Zach. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 and talk a little more Florida State.